watching Fox 10 Phoenix now.
New information in at this hour about an investigation in the town of Guadalupe. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office tells us they arrived to the location there at Priest and Baseline in Tempe following reports of a shooting. They found a man injured who they provided first aid to until an ambulance arrived, and then he was taken to the hospital. MCSO says the man's injuries are life-threatening. They did not say if they are looking for a suspect right now or if any arrests have been made. We will bring you new details as we receive it.
Another shooting under investigation this morning. Phoenix police say a man was found at a park with critical injuries. This is in the area of 35th Avenue in Dunlap. That individual was rushed to the hospital. The victim is said to be not cooperating with investigators, so there's little information about a suspect at this time. Police investigation taking place late last night. This was at 13th Avenue and Van Buren, not too far here from downtown Phoenix. We are still working to gather some information for you. What we do know at this hour is that authorities have shared that this was called out as a stabbing. More details to come here shortly. Well, happening in less than 2 hours, the man accused of the 2023 murder of a woman found in a burning car is scheduled to face a judge. Yeah, such a sad story. Irene Snyder joining us live with details on what could potentially be happening at today's hearing. Good morning, Irene.
Well, good morning, guys. The arraignment is scheduled to happen at 8:30 this morning in just about 2 hours, as you mentioned, or less than 2 hours now at this point, about a month after the suspect was arrested out of state. Now, the man accused of killing this woman is Sincere Hayes, again scheduled for 8:30 this morning arraignment. Hayes was extradited back to Arizona, made his initial appearance in Maricopa County Superior Court last week. The 22-year-old was arrested back on November 11th in Tennessee. He's charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, armed robbery, and auto theft, accused of taking part in the killing of Mercedes Vega in April of 2023. Investigators say the 22-year-old victim was taken from her Tempe apartment, then beaten, shot, and burned. Her body was found after a driver reported seeing a car on fire in Tonopah just off the I-10. Vega had previously been the victim of an armed robbery, but it's not clear if her murder had anything to do with that case. Hayes is currently being held on a $2 million cash bond. And we'll continue to follow the latest details on this case. Again, the arraignment scheduled to happen at 8:30 this morning. Make sure to stick with Fox 10 on air and online. We'll send it back to you this morning. All right, Irene, thank you. We do have new details this morning about a shooting in the Tano Basin area that sadly left 2 teenagers dead. Yeah, recall this happened over the holiday weekend. Now Perry High School in Queen Creek confirming one of their students, 15-year-old Easton Prophet, died in that shooting. School administrators say an emotional assistance is available for any student who needs it. The mother of the other teen posted about his death on Facebook. 15-year-old Colton Boyle from Payson also died from a gunshot wound to the head. Deputies say this is being investigated as an apparent murder-suicide, but it's still not clear who pulled the trigger and what led up to that happening. Turning now to the latest developments in the Arizona border battle. Fox 10 learning the issue is once again headed to court. So abortion advocates, they are of course involved here, and advocates are suing the state to nullify the current 15-week abortion ban. They argue current law conflicts with the recent abortion measure, overwhelmingly approved by voters last month. That ballot measure enshrines abortion rights in Arizona's constitution up to fetal viability. That's usually around 24 weeks, which is 6 months. The measure did not rewrite pre-existing state law, but we are going to break this down for you a little bit more. It's a bit convoluted of an issue. We'll bring you new details a little bit later in our show. Well, developing this morning, an Arizona politician is calling out an online ticket broker, accusing them of violating a new state law. Well, that law is meant to protect you, the consumer, from paying excessively high fees. Dominic Newland joins us live with details on this. Dom, you see the ticket price, and usually it'll say, what, $170. And then you add on all the fees, and sometimes it could be almost double that.
Right, and this one was almost kind of like at times a 10 to that point, and the tickets haven't even gone on sale yet, you guys. We're talking about Kendrick Lamar and SZA's upcoming concert here at State Farm Stadium. Pre-sale starts today, but StubHub, they had tickets go on sale yesterday, and the interesting part was if you went to StubHub's website, those tickets were over $1,000. So this caught eyes for Arizona politician, the eyes of Democratic state Senate Senator-elect Annalise Ortiz. She says those speculative tickets likely violate Arizona's new ban on deceptive ticket practices. So the law was passed during the last legislative session. It makes it illegal for tickets to be resold or advertised for resale unless those tickets are in possession or constructive possession of the reseller.
It is accurate that this just went into effect, right? So there will probably be a period where some platforms want to get into compliance with the law, but they really need to recognize that these sales should not be on their platform because it is illegal.
So in a statement to Fox 10, StubHub says it's reviewing the matter and will take the appropriate action. The company goes on to say it operates under robust legal and operational safeguards to ensure compliance in all jurisdictions, including Arizona. The state senator-elect said she also reached out to the Arizona Attorney General's office to get their comment on it, to have them look into the matter. We'll, of course, keep you updated on what the AG's office has to say and what more comes from this. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Dominique, thank you. Time now, 7:07, and also developing on this Wednesday morning. Remember the story, the 6 men involved in a fight with a former Arizona Coyotes player. Well, they are being accused of attacking another man on the same day.
Yeah, the story and the details continue to emerge here. Phoenix police are investigating after the man claimed he was punched in the face by that very same group. Carter, an employee at Raven Golf Club, that's in Phoenix off of Baseline and about 32nd Street, shared surveillance video with Fox 10 that shows a man attacking him. Well, he says the man was drunk and refused to leave at closing time. Carter believes the man is Danny Bradley. Bradley is one of the men accused of attacking Paul Bissonnette less than an hour later. That was at a restaurant in Scottsdale.
100%.
And why do you say that?
I just recognized him immediately. I saw him a bunch of times that day. I mean, he's half foot taller than me, 150 pounds heavier than me.
Well, Carter says he reported the assault to Phoenix police. Police say they are investigating the two assaults independently right now. They have not yet confirmed if those two men are the same. An arrest made in the hit and run of a 16-year-old girl. She was walking to school in Tempe at the time.
Yeah, the crash happened yesterday morning near Broadway and Country Club. Tempe police say the 16-year-old girl who was hit ran against the light, but the driver of the white minivan that was traveling west on Broadway did not stay at the scene. With help from witnesses, video surveillance, and the real-time operations center, detectives arrested 48-year-old Vicente Diaz Castellanos. A big relief for parents in the area who spoke with Fox 10 about this ordeal.
I think it's pretty sad, you know. They think, you know, you get your kids to school and you think they get there safely and something like that.
Police say Castellanos faces 2 felony charges, and we're told that the victim is still in the hospital and was listed in critical condition.
The city of Tempe is looking to crack down on urban camping.
Yeah, they are planning to do so by better enforcing Code 2390, which was passed back in 1997. So that law bars anyone from using public property as housing, as well as activities like making a fire or laying down bedding for sleeping. The city says those who aren't in compliance will be given a warning and offered services before being cited, fined, or arrested. Officials say the enforcement is intended to help those in need, but not everyone agrees.
This is not the correct way to address homelessness. This is actually the most harmful way that I could imagine.
Getting individuals off the street into places built for habitation with services, with food and heating now that it's getting cold is what's really best for them as well.
So other Valley cities like Goodyear, Phoenix, and Mesa have also recently banned urban camping. In your job shop, hundreds of thousands of people moved to Arizona in 2023, and new census data shows it wasn't just for our weather. The key factor in our population growth has been job jobs.
Yeah, get yourself a job. Joining us this morning to talk about Arizona expanding workforce is Danny Seiden, the CEO of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce. Danny, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We have seen a boom here in the Valley for a number of years, and it's not stopping.
No, absolutely not. Just 256,000 this past year have moved here, putting us, in the top 5 in the country for growth. And, it's a trend we've seen for almost a full decade now of Arizona being one of the top states for people to move to.
Danny, does it say geographically where these individuals are moving in our state?
You can get some of that information where they're moving to in our state. I mean, we know where they're coming from. We know where the #2 recipient of those California exodus that we're seeing, So it used to be go west, young man. Now we're seeing people come from the west a little bit east to Arizona. But yeah, no, I mean, the metropolitan Phoenix area is a top recipient of that growth.
Interesting when you take a look at the data, we're showing images of the semiconductor building that's taking place up off the Loop 303 in the Northwest Valley. You do have a lot of international people moving here to Arizona. That was a big chunk.
That is a sizable chunk. We have high talented workers moving here to work at plants like the TSMC, which is a $65 billion investment in our state, making us the global semiconductor hub of the world now. So yeah, we have high skilled workers coming in for that as well. But no, plenty of people are choosing to leave their state and come to our state because of our quality of life, our job opportunities, and honestly, life's better here.
Yeah, it is.
We always talk about this. I mean, obviously, Arizona, we talk about water being a big resource and kind of a concern. Is there enough water and resources to kind of supplement everybody that is coming into Arizona?
I love this question. There is plenty of water in Arizona. Do you know we are the only state in the country that can give you a 100-year assurancy of your water supply when you buy a house? So we're the only state that's talking 100 years out. So that's the only reason you ever even hear anything about water. We have plenty of water for not just the residential, but also the manufacturing people are moving here. Plenty of resources, plenty of space. Again, great quality of life.
When you talk about water, is it the aquifers that are buried deep, or where's that water coming from?
We have water that comes from really 3 main sources. Some of it's the aquifer, some of it's the Colorado River, and then there's the groundwater. The groundwater that comes in through the top as well. So we have plenty of water, plenty of sources of water in Arizona. Again, happy to dispel that myth. That's something that comes out of the Northeast. People have never even been to Arizona, understanding that we are a well-planned for state. We stand on the shoulders of giants who've been planning us out for years.
And we have a lot of snow in our state, which I think folks don't realize. They haven't visited Arizona.
The northern part of our state is full of pine trees, mountains, and snow. You're right. So it's beautiful. We have all the demographics here.
All right, we're getting the wrap. But if you had a crystal ball and you could look into it, do you think this is a trend that will continue year after year? Is Arizona going to be one of those hot spots?
I absolutely do. We have such a great regulatory environment. We have such a great tax environment. Companies will continue to invest here. And with those investments come high-paying jobs, and people will flock to high-paying jobs. They'll flock for our good schools, and they'll flock for this great weather that we have.
And we didn't touch on it, but maybe just real quick, the 3 top industries that people are coming here for.
I mean, definitely advanced tech manufacturing. You showed the TSMC fab, so that's semiconductors. Also, batteries and EVs. That whole ecosystem is being building on. LG's plant in the East Valley right now, $6 billion investment. They're growing, and then the supply chain that goes in around that would be third. Thinking aerospace defense supply, thinking automotive supplies. We are a huge hub for that right now. So all these are really high-paying private sector jobs we should be excited about.
All right, Danny, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great. Good morning.